Hey, what's up? This is new one. It's Exar Kun, but from the comic book version when he was still a Jedi. So it's blue. There's a real distinct picture of him wearing it on a leg holster, and I'm making the leg holster too. I just haven't finished that part yet. But I got the saber, and I think it turned out pretty well. It's a stunt, which means it doesn't have any sound, but that's okay because I added a cool little feature that I'll get to in a second. Went for the ancient look, obviously. In the comic book, especially the Tales of the Jedi series, none of the hilts are really distinct or defined. I mean, they have really cool shapes, but they're not consistent with each other. This particular photo I just happened to like because of the fact that it was a fairly well-defined picture of the hilt, and on top of that it looked really cool on the leg holster, so that's why I'm making the leg holster too. But it's a blue Rebel with one 18650, and I did the whole LDM trick where the activator is in the pommel via recharge port. Went with, like I said, ancient look. But the Tales of the Jedi, they have a real distinct look to them as far as that series. Pointed tip and funny little shrouds and stuff, which is cool. And they kind of look like they're half made out of metal, half made out of rock. So kind of went for that look. The tracings here specifically, I tried to match up with the comic book because you see it like from this angle, which is pretty cool too, but it's kind of hard to define, so I had to interpret a little bit by myself. It's flat black with aluminum powder dust wash, if you want to call it that. I like the pommel. It just turned out really well because it's dirty and nasty looking. Basically just took a really high grit sandpaper and went over some aluminum tube, and then basically what was left over on the sandpaper I brushed onto it, and combination of the enamel, it's still kind of tacky before it really hardens, which means it was able to grab onto the aluminum dust pretty well. So yeah, it ended up looking cool. It's got kind of a gunmetal look to it, but at the same time with the brushings it sort of stayed out of the grooves and whatnot, so it offered a little bit more defined look. This right here is actually rubber, so it's a nice solid handhold on the rear grip. But anyway, here's the cool feature, is that underneath here is a spring, and if you hold it, this is sort of holding it in place, but you pull, let's see, angle, focus, pull this down, twist it, and you got your crystal chamber inside of it, and then here, turn it on. Pretty. A lot of the parts are kind of like really mismatched parts. I mean, came from like dead Dremel, airsoft gun guts. The crystal itself isn't really a crystal. It was actually an acrylic ruler that was square to begin with, or cubish, but I just sanded the sides down to give it a little bit more of a crystal look to it. What else? And there are some fiber optic parts in there. You can't really see because it doesn't show up on the camera too well. Some parts from like toy guns and stuff, because they have pretty cool detailing, and I thought I'd take some of that, so I basically just chopped them up and put the pieces in there. So it's not as great as some of the other ones out there, but I kind of like it, and plus it's got this cool little cover up. So there you go, and like I said, blue Rebel, really bright, and it's for a 7/8 inch blade. Yeah, I'll put that in there real quick. 7/8 inch blade, so it's nice and thin, very streamlined, easy to hold. I have small hands, but the whole thing, I mean, this section right here is 1 inch tube. This right here is 1 1/8 inch tube, and this big honker piece right here is a whole 1 1/4 inch. So Like I said, nice, thin, small, but I like it. Works well. The end.